Welcome back, everyone, to the Caster Bash here at NASL. We're 2 games in, and 2 people have fallen. And the 2 people have fallen are sitting right in front of you. But you know what? Andre, this is where the train stops, Kevin. I'm feeling it. Do you think you have faith in the Gretorp?
Yeah, I think he can do it. I mean, Andre has a lot of crazy builds. He's a pretty damn good player. But above all, he has a lot of really crazy builds, which can definitely catch you off guard if it's the first time you face it. I'm still a little sad, Frodan. A couple of like such weird mistakes. I had like 6 probes in my simulator for such a long time in my third base, and want to do better.
That's okay. I think you know, it was also kind of like a give or take, because I think you went Nexus first without scouting, and Andre was like, wow, this is really greedy. But then Rhett went 3 hatch before first queen, so he had like the 3rd hatchery down at 345, so he played super greedy, and he had like 65 drones by the time he moved out with the Phoenix, and it was just like an absolute like eco fest. And I was like, oh man, this is exactly what Rhett wants.
Like often lately, the way I've been playing, I've been kind of trying to sell my Stargate a lot more convincingly, but kind of like researching +1 temporary, spending a chrono boost on it. But like his Overlord was in a really annoying position, and then it flew right in. I was like, okay, well, this is not going to be a surprise
so you
anymore.
just sent the 2 Phoenix?
Yes, and it's like, okay, whatever. And then I knew that like I was not going to be able to pick up a whole lot. I still did like some Overlords and drones, but yeah, that doesn't really add up to the whole Stargate investment. I still like, the thing is though, if you survive the wave, then your Protoss army is going to be that scary that's almost impossible to kill like on layer attack. Like I was not too worried.
Yeah, because I think Swarm hosts defensively are actually very weak, because after you kill the first wave, then it's like you run out of space, and then eventually you just run out of time, so.
It's okay, it happens. I had a busy week. I promise you guys, for the next week of the Caster Bash, I'm actually going to have way more time to play. So. I mean, I went to Vegas and all, and it was lucrative, so I don't mind.
No worries, yeah, totally worth it.
Yeah, I need a week of practice wouldn't have made a difference against Red though. Red would probably win anyway, but I made a couple of silly mistakes. I was really sad about that second Robo Bay because I was already building Colossus.
We didn't even see that because we were focusing on Red's half the base.
I literally focused it while cancelled the second Robo Bay. The moment it was like 0.5 seconds from completed. I was like, what? It's the second row because I was waiting for my Twilight console because I really want to start +2. And now I just like, okay, well, then I'll do armor first. But obviously that wasn't very good because I need attack upgrades to focus on the Corruptors. Big mistake.
No
the
worries,
nerves, man. I'm not used to the limelight anymore. I can play on ladder, but I can't.
Did you feel nerves coming in?
Yeah. I want to do. I just want to play a reasonable game, which I sort of did, but a couple of big mistakes, very unforced errors, or very unnecessary mistake, which were unforced errors. Like it wasn't that Red did anything really well for me to make those mistakes. Like it's just unforced errors. It's me making a Robo Bay instead of a Twilight and putting 6 guys in my simulator in my third base.
Totally understandable. Well, Andre can learn from the mistakes. Maybe, you know, he's playing Protoss and he got a chance to see Red's build. Everything went perfect. I mean, Andre really has everything in his favor, man. He got to see Red's build. And maybe Andre can punish it. But then again, you know, he kind of joked about going for 2-base, but Gretorp's, I have never seen him 2-base all in my life. Like I've always seen him go 3-base at least or more.
Did he joke about that when Red was on the call?
Yeah, he said he's gonna 2-base him, but then it's like,
that's just mind games.
He's really not going to.
Like what is very likely, at least that Andre is going to do, or at least what I think he's going to do, is that he's gonna perhaps make some Immortals and Archons. Like this is something he spoke about a lot, and then he like sort of puts on pressure, but it's actually not far from an all-in. You know, it's just
Immortal Archon.
Yeah, Immortal Archon, like kind of like Bling used to do.
Yeah.
And then has a couple of
Zealots.
Yeah, and then a couple of High Templars to rely on Storm in case he has to deal with a lot of Hydras or something.
Yeah.
And from that on, he wants to go to Skytoss. But I think like the transition from an Immortal Archon into Skytoss is very, very expensive. And against a player like Red, I think it's very hard to pull it off. Certainly because it's a very immobile army as well. And if there's one thing that Red really loves to do, it's just like multitask and attack all over the place. So
yeah. I feel like High Templar is also very energy inefficient against Swarm hosts, right? After one storm, it's like, oh great, you killed my first Locust, but then my second wave just comes
I guess Swarm host, it's definitely, no, that's a terrible army against Swarm host, no doubt. But I guess that's the moment where he already wants to slowly but steadily get out of the Tempest or two, I don't know. It's okay then. It's okay.
Yeah, it's totally fine. I like that Gretorp picked Daybreak too. It's a map that he feels very comfortable on, and especially if he wants to go for 3-base. Although I'm actually very surprised because Daybreak is technically not a Heart of Swarm map, right?
That's correct. I mean, we played it so much in Wings.
I
was wondering, maybe like because my Stargate is so quick, maybe I should have gone Oracle first.
Actually, we really thought you were going to go Oracle
yeah,
or
like
Void Ray or something.
I really wanted, but as I said, like I just had no time to practice this week, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sort of do my wings build.
Phoenix, Robo is third base.
Yeah. And I don't know, I just messed it up. It's okay.
Kev, don't get down on yourself. Instead, channel all of that to Gretorp, Spirit Bomb, NASL Spirit Bomb.
Hands up.
Like Beyonce.
My hands up.
Put your hands up.
So many requests to do things with my hands.
Yeah. Only select people who follow me on Twitter will get that.
Red just droning up for this phase of the game. So did he go like his third hatch before the spawning pool as well? Or
No. It was spawning pool, hatchery, and then he got his first queen. So the hatchery went down at 350. So
interesting positioning over here from by the Stargate from Gretorp. I guess this is all has to do with the fact that he knows where the overlords are. He knows there's an overlord over here, and he knows there's an overlord over here. So hiding your Stargate in the left bottom of the base makes no sense because this OV will see it for sure. So he's going to take a risk and hope there are no overlords anywhere nearby. This is a spot where there's often an overlord, but fortunately for Gretorp, there isn't one now.
Look at this, Kev. A 6.5 minute third base.
He actually said that this morning. He said, I'm going to take a 6 minute and 45 seconds third base. I was like, there's no way. And I actually thought that when he was talking about this, that he at least is going to do it off like a gauge robo, you know, how White used to do this. Yeah. I think this is, I mean, Red doesn't have any, yes, he's researching that right now. I think this is almost close to impossible to hold, but if Zerg decides to make an insane amount of units. Certainly with Stargate, like with Robo Sentry, it is always very tough, but you might be able to force field it off with great SimCity and good force fields, but with Stargate you have so few units. But I guess the Stargate is going to do the job of the robotics facility normally, so maybe it makes sense. Yeah,
maybe you can control enough of the map and shut it down. But Ret sees the third. He saw the lack of gases at the 7-minute mark and scouted the third base. But I mean, this is something that Gretorp's really comfortable doing in general. He likes sneaking in third bases. Even if he's getting cheesed by one base, he sometimes goes for the third nexus. I've seen him do stuff like that.
So I guess like what Red is probably going to do right now, I mean, he's making 3 overlords, so he could produce an insane amount of roaches and links, but he's also getting 2 evolution chambers right now. So I think it's a little bit more likely that he's just going to do even 5 overlords. So is he going to make units, or is it going to just be more drones? Okay, it's going to be more drones. Which is just I mean, that's not too bad either, because he knows because of this that like Gretorp is not going to be able to put on any pressure on him in like forever. That's just not going to happen. So if he really wants, he can just sit comfortably on 85 drones right now and not have to worry about any aggression from Protoss.
Especially since he's going for Robo Twilight transition right after that, so it's even more delayed. Gretorp won't be doing anything.
Gretorp is like this little meme, you know? He's like getting all the tech.
Small little interesting thing. 6 probes on 1 gas and 0.
Oh, that's what I had.
Oh yeah?
Well, I had 3 on the other one too, but I suddenly looked at my mineral line and I was like, why am I only have 6 probes in my third base? That doesn't make any sense. We can see Red now is 12 more drones, so he's going to go up to 80 drones before producing any workers. Or producing any units, of course.
How on earth is Andre going to stop Swarm Host Hydra with just these 2 Void Rays and Stalkers?
This is actually going to be a little bit annoying for Andre, as there's a little run by over here. There is 1 cannon, but that 1 cannon doesn't have that much DPS. Oh, this hatchery is taking a little bit of damage, and actually Gretorp forcing a cancel on the hatch.
Targeting the right queen as well.
Dude.
He does get it. That's really nice.
Oh, he's charged up, son. New Void Ray, what up?
And the second queen does live, but he's gets him some alone time. Shoot the queen!
YOLO!
Totally worth it.
Eye for an eye. Exactly, totally worth it. Void Ray is going to work on these hatcheries once more, but Hydras are coming in from the back. He gets the cancel though. He's going to lose one of the Hydras, I guess. One of the Void Rays. 2 Hydras for 2 Void Rays so far. Seems like Gretorp is not really...
Nah, he's focused on everything back at home, and I guess he sees the Hydras. He knows what time it is. It's almost time for the Swarm Host to pop, and as a result, he's going to lose a lot of map control.
I'm worried about this push as well. As you said, like I really feel that you need Colossus. Well, he does have the tempo attack, so he's going to rely on Storm to deal with Hydra Swarm Host. I think it's going to be very tough. Taking a look at the work count right now, he does have 70 probes at the 11-minute mark of a 3-base economy as Protoss. That's of course an awesome scenario, but without Colossus.
How are you going to trade? Like, you're just going to lose more units after a while, unless you completely smack down the first wave and charge the Swarm Host. One thing that Red didn't do last game was that normally when you use the Swarm Host, maybe you keep it for 1 or 2 rounds and then you unburrow and move them. But Red just kind of kept there and kept trading because I guess you lost too much the first round.
As I said, you need Colossus to deal with that, and he knows that. And the moment that my Colossus count came too low, I guess he could have just left him there. Ooh, Phoenix dies immediately. That's a pretty expensive loss, by the way, guys. This was just a scouting Phoenix. He just wanted to keep it out on the other side of the map to see what's going on. But this is basically an observer, which is worth 250 resources, which just got picked up.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not game-breaking by any chance, but Gretorp could use every bit of gas considering he's going for Templar tech, and he really needs to be able to get as many storms as possible.
He's gonna get a Warp Prism as well. Of course, he is researching charge, so we might actually see him while Hydra, I won't say Roach Hydra, it's more like Hydra Swarmos is gonna be aggressive. He's gonna try to do some stuff with charge lulls on the other side of the map, which I think is cool, but he's gonna have to worry about his defense first. He also made a second cannon in his mineral line. Perhaps worried about drops, but he doesn't have to worry about that.
That's true. I guess Hydra drops is within the realm of possibility, but Red sees everything. He sees the powering up of gateways, and Gretorp's going to move out to take a fourth. I guess Andre's never going to attack.
And that's how we know Andre. Andre misses most of the meetings here in the NASL office because he is in the ladder game, and most of our ladder games last like 12-13 minutes. Andre's average game time is like 28.
You see his SA2 gears and it just goes up for so long.
He just cannot win a game without carriers or Tempest.
Yeah, that's actually his legit PvP build too. He likes going carrier Tempest in PvP.
I don't see this as an army where Gretorp can ever be aggressive with. Perhaps he just wants to push Red back a bit. Look at the Swarmos, man. They're getting pretty far. Oh, the Templars are so close!
The Locusts, they move just as fast as Templar, though, so it's actually the same move speed.
Oh, Gretorp, mistake. He's going to lose 2 Templars, 3 Templars. Wow, that's a very expensive misclick. All this was going on while he is wiping in a lot of Zealots in the main base. So this is actually going to be annoying for Red. Taking a look at the upgrades, we see 1-0 for these Zealots. So I like this, though. Storm is going down on Swarmos, but that's obviously not the best trade you can make. Hydra's coming in right now as a reinforcement, so these Zealots will be cleaned up. And I don't think this was very cost effective. You can see that Gretorp lost way more resources, at least quite a bit more than Red.
He also had an opportunity to target down the Evo chamber with +2, and with Hydras and Locusts on the field, that's an incredible amount of DPS that he could have taken out right there. Red's is pretty much maxed. I'm surprised Red hasn't even tried putting on aggression, but
he's going to do it real soon, I think. As you said, perhaps just waiting for those +2 upgrades. He's also a little bit worried, perhaps, about this Warp Prism. He still has the Hydras, I want to say. Yes, there they are. And I think he's going to be aggressive real soon, probably just going to move forward right now. The Locusts are unborrowed. This Warp Prism is not even going to finish the Warping of the Zealots, because that would just be a waste of money. This is that transition phase. 2 Stargates and Fleet Beacon going up. But how are you going to survive against this army? How are you going to keep that fort base alive?
He needs another 10 minutes to build.
And
the time is now.
I would say a good 5 minutes at least. Gretorp sees the army incoming though. He's going to try to land some storms, it just doesn't matter. There's too many Swarmos here. Even if he kills a couple with storms, those are some nice storms though, dealing some serious amount of damage. But
Locust can't get into position. If he can deal with the first wave before the second wave, but there's just too many Swarmos.
So many of them, man. And the storms didn't even kill them. There are quite some Hydras over here as well. Red has 5,000 minerals. That's also something we shouldn't underestimate. I think Gretorp is going to realize that, okay, this is a base I can't keep alive right now.
Yeah, and he's trying to. He doesn't have any room to set up for his air transition either. He has to make Void Rays.
I think this build was a little too gas intensive, Frodan. It's like Charge, Twilight, Robo, Void Ray, Phoenix, High Templars, Immortals, and a couple of Archons, all from
the 7-minute 4 mortal push right into the 4th base.
He does trade bases over here. This is actually a pretty nice pickoff here, but Gretorp just picks up. He doesn't have the Mothership Core with his army, so he's gonna have to be careful. He's gonna lose perhaps 1 or 2 units over here. Land some defensive storms. I like it. Dealt a lot of damage over there.
Zealot's also going to the 3rd, so Gretorp's still doing what he can with the lack of a mobile army. Gonna try to take it out.
He's gonna be able to pick up most of these Hydras here with good sort of defensive storms as he was running away. The problem is Red is so rich.
Yeah, Red has so much remax capability. He also has his Greater Spire on the way, so he can even transition, which is just beautiful. He didn't really even need it in that last game, but having the Corruptors out to deal with any potential Colossus, he usually transitions directly into Broodlords. Red just looks so good right now in terms of his position. He even has Vipers on the field.
You're gonna see some cool stuff from Red, I think. Can you kill your extractor?
Yeah, you can kill.
Really?
You can kill your own extractors, but extractors I think are the most cost-efficient way to do it because they're so cheap.
They do cost a drone, of course.
But it's only 25 minerals.
75.
70. Oh yeah, I guess if you count the drone as well.
Well, do you get your drones for free, Frodan?
Isn't everything free?
I guess Red does. This is Red after all. Ultralisk Cavern is on the way as well. Once more, Gretorp trying to be annoying with a couple of zealots in the right bottom side of the map. I'm liking this. He's doing a good. Oh, this is so smart by Red. Just 3 Hydras, shut this down completely. If he has 10 charge lulls in his base, he has something to worry about. Right now, he doesn't. He is actually going for the real mothership right now. That surprised me a lot. Other than Cloak.
Andre's going to push into this base. He's attacking the bottom right, so this is actually a really effective attack to shut down Red's future economy, but he still has to worry about the big army, and he might, if he loses this army, there's no way that Gretorp can replace it. He is maxed.
Viper taking a little bit of damage. He's going to pull the Void Rays forward. One Void Ray did.
Oh, was that a hallucinated Void Ray?
No, it was a real one.
Oh, okay. It's sometimes hard to tell with the charge thing, but yeah, you can see that Red's only pushing with half his army.
Oh, nice abduct here. Oh, super nice here by Red. He's going to pick up both Void Rays. Feedbacks will go down. Actually, one Void Ray survives. Takes out this little link.
And Gretorp took 2 bases out without losing the majority of his army.
That's true. Taking a look at units lost resource tab, we can actually see that Red lost like 3,000 more by now than Gretorp did. Of course, he's been mining way more as well, so this doesn't mean everything, but that does mean that Gretorp as a res is actually being surprisingly effective.
Yeah, and I mean, Red, he's making Ultralisks. But Gretorp's making Void Rays. I don't know necessarily how effective. Have you played in this kind of scenario yet, Kev?
No, I mean, I've played so much Harvest Swarm when it just came out, and I was doing really well on ladder. And after that, I started traveling again. I had to go home, and I casted a couple of tournaments. And since I came back, I actually kind of only played Wings of Liberty, because I said, like, okay, one more time, I want to finish strong in Season of Wings. So I've been playing lots of Wings. Just this morning, I did a little bit of Harvest Swarm as warm-up for this show match.
There's Mortals, Void Rays, Archons, and Carriers on the way. I'm not sure if these Ultras will be very effective for Red. He doesn't even have that great upgrades for them either. 5
Immortals on the field already. I'm gonna have to agree with you, Frodan. This is actually this could be a really bad decision here for Red.
And it's a majority of his gas too that's been put into it. He still has a lot of minerals, but the gas count is something you can't really ignore that easily.
I mean, Gretorp did somehow survive that phase of the game though, which I thought was going to be so tough for him to survive, as one more Viperism did fall. I mean, we said he needs a good 7-8 minutes to make this air switch happen, and he somehow pulled it off, man.
Yeah, just like counterattacking, because I guess Swarmhost is not very mobile once...
that's definitely true.
I mean, it is mobile in the sense that you can move around. But
this is something that definitely helped a lot. Red never scouted the left top side. I thought he did, but he never scouted the left top side. And I think if Red would have known, he would have been easily able to do something about it. But he didn't do that. This might actually be a very costful mistake.
And Red's going to push into here. The Ultralisks are trying to go straight into the fray, but all the units are avoiding the Ultralisk. Where's the mass air? Gretorp's moving in from his natural with a huge fleet force with Protoss units trying to I thought he was going to sandwich, but he's also going to counterattack. These units need to hold back at home. I think Gretorp has more than enough to be able to take it out.
Yeah, well, against all these Swarmos, so this is actually going to be pretty hard. Very, very probably good use of, the defensive good use of Swarmos, which I have no idea what I'm trying to say. But at least very smart by Red to keep the Swarm hosts home. The Immortals are working on them, but most of the Immortals will fall, and that actually hurts a lot for them, because all these Ultras probably just going to rip through the rest of Gretorp's army. I'm not sure if that was the best idea, that's counterattack.
I really thought he could have sandwiched the army, crushed it, maybe make a push. The Carriers and Tempest would absolutely annihilate the Swarm host, and from there, Gretorp may have actually even potentially ended it before Zerg can rematch, because now Ret is making all these Corruptors. Now he has all the time.
17 Corruptors.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty sick. Red is forcing trying to force a cancel on the support base once more. I think this is finally the first time he's going to check this left top side, and now he's like, oh, you Gretorp.
You greedy Gretorp. That's the newest meme on the internet.
These cannons will go down one by one and try to take all the cannons down before all of his Swarm hosts die, so it would be kind of annoying as there is no detection over here.
The Voids take so long to kill these Ultras. They're able to work onto the Nexus before he's able to do anything, or even some of the probes. Wow.
Well, at the same time, we still have Gretorp harassing a lot in the right bottom side of this map as well. But I am worried as soon as all these Corruptors are going to join in the fray. Wow, this Nexus actually gets cloaked by the mothership. That's pretty smart. So he will have to keep it alive a little bit for now. But the Red is just kind of running all over the place right now. I mean, army supply-wise, it's so extremely close though. It doesn't feel like it.
Red also lost his bottom right base to a Zealot run by from Gretorp, and Gretorp, if he can hold this base, still has some gas income, which is so critical. Wow, and Red's trading very inefficiently right now because the Ultras can't really clean up anything. The SimCity actually helping Gretorp a lot and cloaking the Nexus. Can he actually do this, Kev?
This Nexus will stay alive. This Nexus did die though, so that's pretty painful for Gretorp. These Zealots, Red's really gonna have to take care of these Zealots, otherwise he will be in a lot of trouble. Man, there is so much stuff happening all around the map. Okay, Red started working with his Corruptors. He still has 19 Corruptors. That is scary though. So we see a remake of a couple of High Templars. Of course, Storm can be excellent against extreme high numbers of Corruptors.
Gretorp cleans up a lot of stuff in the main too.
Gretorp with his funky strats, man.
Yeah. And now he has a pretty strong
He actually has a supply lead right now over Red, and he has more money. This is so sick. I mean, he did lose to base, but as you said, Red kind of traded inefficiently. Okay, but Gretorp is not mining at all anymore. Red is mining from one base, so that is the advantage that Red has right now for a good 50 seconds over Gretorp.
But if you look at the income, it's actually sort of comparable. It's not even that much of an advantage because Red didn't have that many drones onto his. Now he has more drones at full saturation, but for a while he didn't. Gretorp, if he can still fight efficiently with his Sky Force, I think he can still do this.
I think he can definitely do this. He has 9 carriers, man.
He's got Storm. He can completely
Gretorp is actually so far ahead right now. This is pretty sick.
He needs to be careful. His army's not segregated.
Oh, Hydra's come, but there are so many Storms, and with this air army, I think Gretorp has done it, man. I cannot believe it. This is so sick, but Gretorp just makes this kind of stuff work.
Wow. He's the Storms and the Corruptors trying to clean up everything, but the Overseers, they're getting very weak. It doesn't even matter because the Corruptors are all dropping Storm. Tempest, this is the composition that Zerg has feared. Red supply is half of Gretorp. Oh no! What have we just witnessed, Kev?
I am looking forward to a beautiful cast of Gretorp and Red of this lovely game on Daybreak.
Oh man, it was funny too because I really thought Gretorp was going to play Terran for Red and he chose to do Protoss, and now this Sky Protoss transition has worked. Red is down to the last base. Drones, you can't repair the hatchery. What are you doing?
Carriers flying in, lots of Void Rays. There are still High Templars. Red says very nice man and GG. Wow. Andre holding it down like a boss. Man. I thought he was in such bad shape on a certain moment.
He lost his 4th base and Red had full control, but Red played really passive and allowed it. There's the man.
Really sick, really sick.
Well played, Andre.
You can tease Red about this. Very well played, man. Man, I can't believe you pulled that off. On a certain moment, we said like, okay, he's gonna need a good 10 minutes to transition to Sky Toss, and somehow you got the time.
Yeah. I've been practicing that in Wings of Liberty for like 4 months now, and I felt like with Rhett's style, it's like super unfortunate because I didn't say it at first, of course, but I felt like the mobility is what Protoss lacks with the Colossus. Like they need to be attacking in one direction at all time, and they're not good at. They're not good at being mobile, and especially with Corruptor positioning, you have to slow down a lot. But with this, it's instead of like doing attack, it's like first in his PVT I was telling you about. Like you never actually confront. Your Storms are always while you're retreating, and you make it just super, super mobile, base trade all the time. And then while that base trade is happening, you're just switching to Sky Toss really, really slowly.
Yeah, I kind of figured that's what you want to do, but on a certain moment I thought there's just no way.
Oh, you didn't think you'd be able to get away with it?
No, because you had like no gas, you had all these Stargates, but you were only on 3 bases. I think the fact that he didn't scout your 4th base for quite a while.
That was gigantic.
That was key. Yeah, what do you think, Jos?
I think that he played very nice. I mean,
thanks, Rat.
There were always war prisms everywhere, and I don't know, you played really well. That's all I can say.
Thanks, Rhett.
I really liked. I actually, what was really cool though was the game at one point was so fast that we couldn't really observe. Rhett was attacking the top left, but he was also run buying the center expansion. But you had Zealots attacking the bottom right, and you were warping in Zealots in the front while pushing with your Mortal High Templar to the Rhett's main 4th base. That's the kind of action that people want to see in StarCraft Heart of the Swarm, and I think that is what's the most exciting thing about it. With all due respect to you, Winnie too. I think ZVP has improved a lot from just just watching how
it's so much more fun.
It's
than,
beautiful, and I
turbo
think
infested.
Protosses have to switch that style. It's impossible to do not impossible, but it's really tough to do Colossus because they cost so much supply, and you're gonna be like yanked all the time with the freaking Swarm host.
Vipers.
So, and High Templars, I can't stress that enough. Like you need High Templars in your army always because the Vipers are just way too strong.
Well,
You did a really good job.
Winning man is always speaking the
counterattacking.
truth.
Thank you, Red.
Because I think I could have just killed you if I just went for your base, but then I kept going back all the time, and then
Yeah, I mean,
there
you
was
always-
definitely a moment where Red was like, we felt like, okay, this kind of game over. He had 5,000 minerals. He just took out your fort base.
Oh
and
yeah.
we're
That was
like
the
this.
scariest situation for me
Yeah.
ever. I didn't have observers on the map. Like, I could have sworn you went. Did you go mutas at one point?
No.
I thought I saw mutas on the map. I was
went
like,
Vipers.
crap.
I was kind of trying to show off the Viper, and
Oh
then
man. But yeah, that was the scariest moment for me because I was like, oh, I need to base trade right now, and I hope he doesn't have a Zerg in the top left burrowed because I think if he did, like, it shuts down my momentum completely. I can't get an economic advantage on you.
Well, guys, Mr. Bitter is pulling the good old moves we used to pull in high school when there was something we really don't want to do.
Played hooky. Guys, I don't know, man. The dog ate my keyboard. I'm gonna. I'll see you guys next week.
Let's hope Kitty didn't eat his keyboard, otherwise he will be devastated. But yeah, unfortunately Ben is still not here. So yeah, what we can do is just redraw and do it one more time.
We'll give an opportunity. We'll find out what's gonna happen after we take a quick commercial break. This is the NASL Caster Bash. We have one more game. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.